Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Karen Marsdale and I'm President and CEO of the Greater Reading Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and I am thrilled today to have a really special friend with us, Elaine McDevitt from the Rose Corporation. Elaine, welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here, and I know some of your story. I know some of the your background and your journey. And in this short period of time that we're going to talk, I'd love to get a lot in. I want to know how.
Oh, I'm your girl.
Yeah, I know. So your journey to getting where you are today came about in a way that perhaps you wouldn't have wanted to have it happen. But you've got a great company, and you're providing that legacy of the company. So let's talk a little bit first about that journey, and then we'll talk more about what the company's doing these days, and the highs and the challenges and all those good things.
Well, our company is the Rose Corporation, and we're located on North 8th Street here in Reading.
I forgot to say that. I'm so sorry.
And we are a contract manufacturer, so we build industrial equipment that other people design. A lot of industrial furnaces, industrial ductwork, maybe complicated machine bases. Did I say furnaces? Thermal oxidizers, a lot of different things like that. So engineers or OEMs will design this equipment. It might be a one-off, or it might be their actual product, and then we'll build it. So we've got lots of skilled people at our place: welders, fitters, assemblers, machinists, project managers. Yeah. So my father started the business in 1987 when he was 50. And I think that's really inspiring because a lot of times I see people, I'm going to be 50. You know, my dad started their own business.
I love that.
I love that. And they get excited. It's like a boost, you know. It's like there's so much ahead of you once you turn 50. But it was always his dream. So he started the business with a Fred loan from the city and then a small loan from Pennsylvania. He always liked to tell the story. Not only did I pay my loans off, but I did it ahead of time. Not many people do that.
That's for sure. That is for sure.
But that's how he did it. And also by putting his house up as collateral on the bank line.
Which is not unusual for an entrepreneur.
You know, I think entrepreneurs are amazing. Like, a lot of times people talk to me as though I am one. I was not that brave. My dad was brave. There's a lot of brave entrepreneurs in this world. I don't think people realize, especially in a business like ours where there's a lot of assets, what a huge challenge that is and what a huge risk that is.
It is. It's a huge risk, and you really have to be. And I remember one entrepreneur that you probably know said that, you know, going to the bank with, you know, everything on the line, including the home, the kids, the cat, the dog, and everything. And that's what you put in every day when you're doing that. But
well, not only do you do it, but your spouse does it too.
Yes, exactly.
And I always gave my mom a lot of credit for that. She never gave herself credit. Oh, it was all daddy. It was all daddy. No, Mom, there's not a lot of women that would say, okay, put my house on the line so that you can start this steel company at age 50. That is quite a commitment.
Exactly. And that's very true. And that is very, very true. And so your dad had this vision, and then he made it. He turned that vision into an actuality.
That's exactly
right. He
grew
grew the business.
He added Mark Metals, which is a steel distribution center. A lot of people don't realize we're the same company.
I think you're right.
The Rose Corporation, Mark Metals. And we also now have the intellectual property for Drever furnaces, which used to be in the business-to-business world a very popular furnace. So we sell and fabricate spare parts for them. It is interesting. So my dad ran the business for 17 years. He was, everything. He was the controller, the operating officer, head of sales. And he was an entrepreneur.
Sure.
And then one day he went to play racquetball after work, and he passed away suddenly. It was
and I can remember that. I was at the chamber.
Tax Day, 2004.
Yes.
And as you could imagine, it just put us into quite a whirlwind. We had some professionals that came into our lives that helped us quickly organize. Some of those professionals were local business people, and some people were from out of town, Lancaster and also York. But we took advice. We took a lot of advice. We took a lot of suggestions, and we used a lot of the know-how that we had to take the entrepreneurship style business and turn it into more of a team-oriented business. And this was slow. You know, this was not overnight. But, you know, interestingly enough, one of the kind of glues that brought us all together was actually the implementation of lean manufacturing.
Well, I know that that's part of your story, and you know, certainly don't know the breadth and depth of lean that you do, but I know just working for the chamber and being involved in our training and development to some degree, how important that is. And
Yes.
that is very true, that it can be the glue. And you know, I think it's wonderful that you adopted and embraced that.
Not only us, but all of our employees. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that it wasn't my dad, Lou Bruno, by the way, I got a name drop. He didn't come out one day and say, hey, we're changing the way we're doing things. When my
Sure.
dad passed, everybody knew, because he was such a large part of the business, that we were going to have to change. And it's amazing how the lean concept was really embraced by a lot of people all over the company, and that's what made it work these 12 years later. And honestly, I don't know that we could still be in business if we didn't embrace lean and all it stood for, which is basically eliminating waste and making things more efficient, safer, but still keeping your quality. Yeah,
And I know that, you know, there's so much in that world of lean that you could talk forever and a day, and it's really fascinating. But that is absolutely true. I think with anything, you've got to get the buy-in of the people. And lean is very big about the fact that the culture has to adopt.
Business is different now, and I think especially small business, it's just not the owner pushing everybody along.
Sure.
It's everybody in this business together, coming up with good ideas, eliminating waste, saving money, you know, continuing to grow in what they do best. It takes everybody really to make a company go anymore.
Well, it really does. And, you know, as I always say, small business is really the engine of our economy, because you're going to be the businesses that are going to grow and add employees and build community. Large businesses are looking to try to figure out a way to eliminate and continue to, you know, sort of
Well,
squeeze
let me just say, Karen, I believe it when you say it, but when a politician says it, I don't believe it so much. They put so many difficult obstacles in the way of small businesses. They put rules in for business in general, and maybe a large business can handle that, but
not,
small
right.
businesses, it's just a constant pounding.
Well,
it's constant pounding.
It's very frustrating, and as you know, we at the Chamber are, you know, we're always looking at what's happening, whether it's in Harrisburg or whether it's in Washington, because we can't allow businesses to have to operate with one hand tied behind their back.
Oh, and that's why we belong to the Chamber.
Yeah.
You all do a very good job.
Well, we appreciate that.
At supporting businesses in our area, constantly with the legislative breakfast, the roundtables. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to really come face to face.
Well,
if those people in positions are really listening, you know, there's a lot to say.
Well, they really do, and I'll just a little tidbit that I heard just recently. Of course, we're in campaign mode, but there's something like $1 trillion worth of legislation and regulation that has been put onto the backs of particularly manufacturers. And how can we possibly be competitive and let great ideas and entrepreneurs do their job? So I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but we really need to
That's all right. Everybody in the audience needs to know that.
we do need to hold our elected officials and all, you know, and those who represent us accountable, because we want the Rose Corporation to grow. So with that being said, now of course you're in the midst of this now, and you've embraced all of this, which you probably were not necessarily going to do for your lifetime. And I know we're running out of time because we're having such a good time. But tell me where you see the Rose Corporation in 5 years and maybe 10 years.
Oh wow, that's a really hard question.
I know.
Well, what I can say about our company is that every year we have certain goals. Every year we have a certain set of continuous improvement goals we meet. Every person needs to meet this goal, and every person needs to learn more about the goal. So,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
You're not just,
In fact, I thought one of your questions was going to be, what is the most important thing, in this area? Well, besides our employees, which, you can never say enough about your employees, it has to be the training opportunities here.
Yes,
because
that's huge for us.
Because between the Chamber, the Schmidt Technical Center, the two career colleges, WTTI, there's a lot of places here trying to get people with aptitudes for trades, skilled trades, involved, and there's so much fulfilling work available. I think that's like a best kept secret, and I'm glad to see, because of people like Mike Rowe making a national platform out of it, I'm glad to see that people are finally starting to realize that, you know, success is training, not necessarily college.
Yes.
Anyway, so getting back to the Rose Corporation, we're trying to just continually make our company better, grow our employees, move forward with as far as technology. We have pretty old technology at the Rose Corp, but it's all workhorse kind of stuff. But we're breaking into new worlds and just constantly moving forward despite a lot of the obstacles that are tough for small business, including Obamacare.
Yeah.
And the costs involved with all of that.
Oh, absolutely. And you brought up, and I know we're going to go long, but you brought up something that's really, really important and very close to my heart and to those that we serve, and that is the fact that we need to get young people engaged and excited about the careers of tomorrow, which so many of them are in this world of technology, and not necessarily technology at sitting at a desk, but working as head of maintenance in a company,
or
it's
project management. You're always out in the shop, different things like that. Yeah,
you know, and I think we've talked about the fact my father was a welding contractor, had his own business, and you know, I kind of grew up in this world of you know, the skilled trades and how successful they can be, and we are really, this is where an area where we really need to get our young people on board,
and
so
you
that
know,
they can all have
and
great
here
jobs.
in Reading, there's so many opportunities.
There are,
and I love the way the economic partnership and the chamber joined with the Schmidt Technical Center and the career centers to create the careers in 2 years and whatnot. Yeah, it's good.
You know, what we talk about is the fact that we have it right here, as you said, Elaine. We have that continuum where young people can go, and even when they're still in high school, and start working toward those certificates and those credentials that they need. If they can go right if they want to go to college, but in the meantime, they're going to have a great job.
Hey,
and
getting training that suits your aptitude is way more important.
Yes,
it really is. And you know, I have to say, on my worst days, I take a walk through the shop. I love to see what the guys are building. I love to see the skills that they have. They teach me things when I walk through, and it's just the biggest. It's the biggest lift. Yeah, I just so admire what they can do.
Right, and we need to make sure that there's a pipeline.
Absolutely.
Of those folks.
Yeah.
Well, I know our time is up. It has been a pleasure. I look forward to more information and growth of the Rose Corporation and seeing Elaine a lot more often. But thank you so much, my friend, for being here.
And congratulations on your new position. What a woman! Woo woo!
Thank you. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.